All right. My name is Dustin Travis Bryant. I'm your host this evening for Open Mic Night, Thursday nights at the Anchor. Thank you guys for making it out. Round of applause for yourselves there. Thank you. All right. Sign-up sheet is adjacent to the bar. We have a new thing. This is brought to you by Planet Woodstock Music. We have an amenities tray. So help yourself to anything on this tray. You know, picks and capos and Altoids. There's a cup holder. Just saying, you can put your cup in there. It's usable. But without further ado, it's not about me, it's about you guys. Let's welcome our first act to the stage. Give a round of applause for David Britton.
Wow, what we have up here, just so you guys know, there's a guitar pick, a capo. So far, so good. Altoids, kind of makes sense. And then just a cigarette. Just a cigarette, I guess anyone can have this particular cigarette. It's nice, but weird. You found, well, that makes it not less weird. He just said he found it on the table, as if that makes it less weird somehow. I'm just going to slowly slide this over here. Here's a tip for those of you who like to have intercourse. On Amazon, you can get condoms super cheap. I don't know if you all knew this. You can get them for like 43 cents a piece if you order them in bulk. Here's a bonus tip. Always make sure to keep your address updated on Amazon. Otherwise, you will get a text from your mom saying, "Why did you ship me 50 condoms?" She actually sent me a text that was like, "I get it, you don't want any more siblings, fine." Also, my mom's 80 now, so that was I didn't think she was going to be pumping anything out of there. I'm very upset that I just said pumping anything out in reference to my mom's vagina. You're not happy about it? And I'm not happy about it. I get that. I love my mom a lot. The rest of my family can suck it, though. That's what I've decided. They're just, like, not good people in general. Like, I found out that my aunt is one of these nerds who will protest at Planned Parenthood. Like, I did not know that about her until I saw recently on her Facebook page that there was a picture of her outside of Planned Parenthood with a sign that said a fetus is a child. Which I thought was hilarious because in the same picture, she's wearing a t-shirt that says life begins at 40. Well, which is it, Deborah? Which is it? When did your life begin, Deb? Did your life begin at conception, or did your life begin around the time you had to start waxing your mustache? Because it can't be both, can it? And you guys will note that I called her a nerd, and I think that is the proper term for someone who wants to close down a Planned Parenthood. It's a real nerd move, you know? Because you got to think, what does Planned Parenthood provide? Contraception, termination for unwanted pregnancy, and treatment for STDs. You know, stuff cool people need. That's right, back off, nerds. Back off. How about I like the stuff I like, and you like the stuff you like? How about that? How about that? Davey likes to fuck. Thank you, everyone. That's my new catchphrase. Davey, I'll be selling Davey likes to fuck t-shirts in the back after the show. Yeah, pick one. That would be great. I know I would sell 1 million if I had them, but I do not because I don't have the money to buy them up front. My uncle is just as bad as my aunt. My uncle is one of these. Last time I was home, like a couple weeks ago, I found out my uncle is one of these flat earther people who thinks the goddamn earth is flat. You know, and I almost got into an argument with him about it, but then I remembered my horoscope that day told me to avoid conflict. So I wanted to give you guys enough time. I thought maybe, you know, here's the thing. I know he's a Taurus, so he'd just be super stubborn about it. So I feel like some of you might be into astrology and you don't get it. My point is, like, I feel like every religion, and astrology is basically a religion, right? It's the same thing. Like, you know what? I think Mormons get too much shit. I really feel like Mormons get a lot of shit. Like, it's very popular now to make fun of Mormons all the time. There's a whole play about how ridiculous Mormons are. And don't get me wrong, they are batshit insane. But you guys want to know what Mormons believe? All the same shit the rest of you believe, plus like 2 extra things. You don't get to make fun of them. You don't get to be like, talking snakes and walking on water, of course. Magic underwear, I don't think so. Well, shut up. You can shut your hypocritical mouth. I don't mean to make fun of religion, but I do because it's stupid. Isn't it ironic that intelligent design is dumb as shit? That's ironic, right? Oh shit, I wasn't going to get my notebook out, but there's this whole tiny little table here just made for it. Oh, okay, I'll just do this last thing and then I'll get out of here. I know a lot of you are drinking tonight, and I think that's great. You know, drink it up if you can handle it. That's my opinion on the matter. I am not drinking tonight because I can't handle it. And here's how I knew that I hit rock bottom. And I'm not proud of this, but I knew I had to stop drinking one day when I got a little too drunk, and I got behind the wheel of a car, and I killed that school crossing guard. And to be honest, I don't even remember buying the gun, let alone driving over to his house. But you know, the cops said I did it, so I probably did it. Whatever. All right, thank you guys. That's all my time. You've been really great.
David Britton, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, everybody.
All right. Keeping things going. Let's give a warm welcome for Jessica Boyd. Come on up.
I got it. All right. So some of you can tell I'm vertically challenged. Yes, that is the politically correct term. Thank you very much. We short people prefer that term. Anyhow, so I have a question for all of you. Did any of you know that today is Critical Thinking Thursday? No? And I'm sure that you didn't know that yesterday was Work Hard Wednesday, did you?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, this month also happens to be Music in Our Schools Month. Did any of you know that?
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't.
Who said yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes. Anyhow, so in honor of Music in Our Schools Month, I figured I'd sing you guys a song. It's one of my favorite songs. A beautiful song that puts me in a sentimental mood. I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating someone, the real Slim Shady. Please stand up, please stand up, please stand up. 'Cause I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. Want the real Slim Shady, please stand up, please stand up, please stand up. Woo. Woo. Yeah, thanks. I'm way too white for this shit. You know, I wrote my own little rap. It's a slim chance I'll be Shady, the real Slim Shady, for I'd say I'm more shifty than Shady, a rather anxious lady. Have any of you heard of resting bitch face?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure you all have heard of that, but you haven't heard of Critical Thinking Thursday. Fuck that. Anyway, so some people have resting bitch face. I have what I like to call resting furrowed brow. And what that basically means is I'm really good at looking like I have the fear of God in my eyes all the time. So I have a question for you guys. How many of you suffer from anxiety? Raise your hands high. You're in good company. Well, I have a long history of anxiety, of depression, of dyspepsia. 2 truths and a lie. Which one's a lie? Dyspepsia. I just looked it up tonight. I've heard the word before and it sounded really kind of rhythmic and groovy and I really liked it, so I figured I'd tack it onto my set. It's another word for indigestion. My bowels have been a little funky this week. TMI, much. Yeah, so I have a history of anxiety and I'm convinced that... How many of you agree with the fact that the brain is the most irrational organ in the body? That didn't land as well as I thought it would. Well, I'm convinced that my brain has hated me all my life. It's just whenever I do well at something, and, you know, people will just say, oh, that was so good. Good job, Jessica. And my brain will just go, you suck! You suck! Well, has anybody here heard of pandas? Or has anybody heard of pandas?
Yes.
Well, pandas, it's an abbreviation. If you'd like to know, it's a neurological thing, and it is brought about by incessant cases of strep throat. When I was an infant, I was plagued by strep throat. Oh boy, they didn't think I'd make it. Just kidding. I was fine. I was the babe with the power. Have you heard about the babe? I guess you haven't heard about the babe. Well, anyway, so the strep throat actually, and this is proven by research and science and all that, basically, if you have a lot of strep as a kid, your amygdala gets flamed. Does anybody know what the amygdala is? Thanks, I'm a teacher. Anyway, so the amygdala is the fight or flight region of the brain, and mine is pretty freaking inflamed because I had strep incessantly as a kid. So my brain naturally hates me, and my amygdala is sort of more prone to going, what the hell? Just all the time. My brain is on fire all the time. So I've had experiences with therapy and medication and whatnot, and, if you go up to somebody and say, oh, I'm on antidepressants, most people will go, oh, I'm so sorry. My response is, ooh, me too! What class? Anyway, I feel like I'm terrible at keeping track of time. I guess I'll end it here on that note. Stay in school, be educated, know your neuroscience, steer clear of dyspepsia, and I bid you a good night. Thank you very much, everyone.
Jessica Boyd. Thank you for that critical Thursday moment there. Awesome. All right, up next, let's welcome the controversial Duval Culpepper.
Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of... You guys remember that Transformers movie? No? All right, never mind. Fuck it. All right. Can Germans not refer to their own struggle? Is that... All right, so I hate rich white liberals. This has been my constant existence. My entire life has been a battle against rich white liberals. I went to a really fancy private school on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, but I grew up in the projects, which gave me a very unique perspective on people. I hate them. And, it's the small things that really get to me. I was in this really fancy private school called the Calhoun School, which is ironically named after somebody with the last name of Calhoun. And this kid, Greg, came up to me, and he's just like, Hey, Duval, all our dads come with us on field trips. How come your dad doesn't come with us on field trips, Duval? How come your dad doesn't come with us on field trips? I was like, because your dad's a really fucking good prosecutor, okay? Because my father was in prison. No, I can't. Rich white liberals, it just really fucking gets to me. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and there's a lot of open mics that have rules now. You're not allowed to say certain things at open mics. I was at this, for lack of a better word, lesbian open mic in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the person, because I'm not going to use a gender because that'd be crazy, the person was just like, if you are a cis white male who has any intention of saying hate speak, rape jokes, anything sexist anything sexist, you are not welcome at our open mic, okay? And then everyone's like, they're clapping, the other people there. R. Kelly blasting in the background. It's the small ironies in life, guys. The small irony. And this is my point. Rich white liberals don't realize how complicit they are in the patriarchy that they're... round of applause. Who thinks we need to smash the patriarchy? Huh? How many round of applause need there? Patriarchy, yeah. How about the black patriarchy? Where do we stand on that? That too? Oh, black people, it's over for us, see? And this brings me to my point. This Hitler Youth, rich white lesbian in front of this open mic, the Hitler Youth haircut, I was talking to her, I was just like, well, certainly open mic should be a platform where we're allowed to explore ideas of any kind. She's just like, no, you should never talk about marginalized groups. You should never make jokes about marginalized groups. And I was like, well, I'm black. Doesn't that afford me? She said, with Terminator eyes, she goes, there is no hierarchy of oppression. Dun 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 dun. They're killing us, guys. I'm telling you. These rich white lesbians, once they trick black people into helping them tackle white guys, they're gonna order 66 us from Revenge of the Sith. It's a nerd joke. Where all the rich white lesbians are gonna say, execute Order 66 and hang these niggas, please. Ha 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 ha. The black patriarchy. Because rich white liberals don't realize how conservative black people are as a group, okay? Black people are the most conservative, bigoted, sexist group in this country, okay? Let's break it down. Guns? Got 'em. Jesus? Got 'em. Gay rights? Don't got 'em, okay? Let's break it down. My family brought me to see Ace Ventura Pet Detective when I was 8 years old. You guys remember Ace Ventura Pet Detective? Of course. Remember when Ace Ventura figures out that Einhorn is Finkel? Finkel is Einhorn! Einhorn is a man! Einhorn is a man! Remember that part? My family, so at the end of that movie, Ace Ventura spins around Einhorn, and we see a lump in her panties, okay? As adults, we realize that that lump in her panties is a result of her being a transgender individual, and she was tucking her cock, okay? As an 8-year-old boy, I didn't realize that, and I asked my bigoted black family, I said, hey, Uncle Norris, what's that lump in her panties? You know what they said to me? They looked me in the eyes, and they said, Duval, she shit her pants. Rather than explain to me what a transgender individual was, my family allowed me to think that a grown woman shit her pants for no reason, okay? Black people are just as bad as the white uncles that you hate, okay? Very good. Gotta stop code switching. I'm just gonna read through these horrible jokes. Code switching. You guys know what code switching is? Another rich white lesbian posted some meme where she's just like, you know, if you have students and they're using bad grammar, that's cultural. So don't correct them. You're killing us! That is horrible advice to give a young black person, okay? One day these will be jokes. These are just good points. So yeah, I misgender a lot of people accidentally, okay? I do a lot of misgendering. By accident. I'm not trying to misgender people, but it happens, okay? And in casual conversation, there's no easy way to come back from that, okay? When you misgender somebody, I just want to Alex Mack into a slop sink and disappear until the party's over, okay? But my mom spent way too much money on private school for me to be saying sentences like, they is coming to the party. It's a private school joke, because my mom spent a lot of money on private school. And white privilege. How many people think white privilege is a problem, guys? You're all idiots, okay? White privilege applies to maybe 10% of you, okay? The rest of you are just niggers like me, okay? You minimum wage fucking white activists and shit. I've had people be like, you know, because of my white privilege, I stand a better chance than you do, Deval. Sorry, because of my white privilege, I'm better than you. Shut the fuck up and give me another order of onion rings before I tip you 10%, okay? These fucking minimum wage activists. Shut the fuck up, you're white privilege. You guys are all as broke as I am. Actually, my BMW's out front, so fuck you. All right, nigger with money, it's okay. There's time and place for the word faggot. No, we're not ready for that. No, I was on a road trip with my buddy, and we're climbing up into this like rock collection of rocks in Colorado, and like we're climbing up, we're having a good time, we're like getting a little drunk, we're like, oh, we're really high, whatever, fuck it, let's keep going. And my buddy, we're climbing, I'm like, oh, you sure want to climb up that way, man? It looks pretty gnarly. He's like, no, I'm gonna do it. And he jumped up, and he got put in this awkward situation where he couldn't get back down the way he went up, and he looked at me, he said, I'm stuck like a faggot. We're just trying these jokes, guys. I don't give a fuck. These are all... I was watching a rape scene at a bar that was playing a rape scene. And it was... I think it was Spit on Your Grave. You guys ever see I Spit on Your Grave? Yeah, I was into the movie. I've been watching for an hour because I'm a lonely alcoholic and I just go to bars by myself and I watch whatever's on the TV. And an hour into this movie, the bar owner runs out and she's like, oh my God, there's a gnarly rape scene. She comes out. She's just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll turn that off. I said, no. So I travel a lot. I travel across this country, and when you travel across this country by yourself, you get so varied and diverse the problems this country faces are. And I was in rural Georgia at a diner, and there was a news story on the television at this diner that said the state senators of Georgia were thinking about renaming a place called Runaway Negro Creek, okay? It's a real place, you can Google that, okay? I'm sitting there watching this news story, and these good old boys are next to me, and they're just like, there they go! Those SJW PC warriors trying to change our culture, trying to change our history. If they change the name of Runaway Negro Creek, how am I supposed to know what exit to take to get to Nigger River? I just want to read these. I bought PS4 and a new TV, and I've given up. So I just write. I don't even want to hook up with anyone anymore. In Arkansas, there's a billboard I saw. There's an Arkansas billboard that says, if you beat your wife and do meth, we will take your gun. They tried to take the kid, but they said, hey, she ain't mine. Go ahead, take her. Minnesota father. I met a blind Minnesota father and his two sons when I was in Wilmington, North Carolina on my last little drive, and we were hanging out, we were having a good time, having one of those white guy humanist conversations where they're just like, look, I'm a human, you're a human, that's how it was when I was a kid. Not all these different identities. I'm a human, you're a human, we're all just one people. And I was like, okay, well, all right, I feel like I understand where this guy's trying to come from. By the end of that night, I was called a nigger, so I feel like... He lost it. He said, look, you can sock me one, but I'm going to say it. I should be allowed to use that word. I hooked up with this old miserable woman in this town, and we went back to her place. Long story short, she started. She's like, I like to work out naked. It was just one of those really dumb drunken nights. She's like, I'm gonna get naked. I like to work out naked. I was like, cool, that sounds really sexy. Maybe that'll go somewhere. She picks up a kettlebell, swings it forward, and rips a huge fart while doing that. And I've never been more turned off in my entire life, as you guys are to my act. It's very good. I don't know. I've been really just in my head playing PS4. I really have decided that I'm just gonna stay home and play video games. That will happen in your early 30s because everything starts to hurt. In your early 30s, the small things change in your 30s, like even one-night stands. You send a follow-up text in your 20s, it's all cute and shit. Just like, hey, nice to meet you. Want to hang out this weekend? There's an art opening with free PBR from 6:30 to 6:45. It's like, oh, yeah, cool. In your 30s, that follow-up text changes. It's just like, hey, nice to meet you. What was the name of that memory foam mattress topper you had? Because my lower back has never felt better. I'm trying to figure out what I act. Am I fuck their dog here? Never mind, the joke doesn't work then. Okay. Very precocious. Oh, all right. So I was on the internet. I spent a lot of time on the internet, and this is gonna sound weirder than it already is. But a 20-year-old in Seattle, this boy, he makes synth music. He came across my website, he liked my act, he's like, hey man, I really love your material, that's really cool stuff. Let's collaborate somehow. And I was like, oh yeah, I love your music too, man. Makes really cool 80s synth music. We were gonna collaborate on him making a theme song for my podcast, and I was like, cool man, sounds good. A couple weeks go by, I see on Facebook, he posts, I just want to announce to everyone that doesn't know this, but I tried to take my life on September 18th, 2018, and the attempt did not succeed. I'm glad it didn't, but thank you for understanding at this time. He had called me the day before And I did not answer. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch, okay? So I saw that post, and I messaged him back. I texted him, just like, and I'm like, hey, can I call you, man? He's like, yeah, of course. We get on the phone. Dude, you know, I'm like, listen, man, if you ever feel like you're in the dark space like that ever again, if you ever feel that life is meaningless and purposeless, just remember that there's always something to look forward to, no matter how small. And if you ever need my help, I will always answer the phone if you call me again. Did you finish that song? My grandma was a old black woman who hated white people. And I hate when rich white lesbians tell me that black people can't be racist because my grandmother fucking hated all of you and she was rich. But my grandma was like a crack shot, you know. She was like a black redneck, you know. And she'd be watching The Price is Right, and there'd be like a woodchuck in her garden, and she would Call of Duty with her .22 rifle over her hand, just and shoot a woodchuck and go say, "Go get that woodchuck out my garden," and I'd go grab it. But if you ever displeased my grandmother, she had a very unique way of doing it. Wouldn't yell at you, wouldn't hit you. She would stare out the window until you left the room. So I was making her eggs one morning, and I overcooked them. She liked her eggs runny, and I was just like, "Hey, Grandma, here's your eggs." And she said, "Ah, doggone it, they're too dry." Well, Grandma, I can go back and make them real quick. We got more eggs. It's no problem. I can fit. Until you left the room. That's when. Fuck you. My grandma's dead and it hurts. I'm just trying to tell a story about it. It's relevant about her existence. All right, I came in too hot with the rich white liberal stuff, but you know where I stand on that. I've also not drank for a week, so that's a fucking delight. So maybe that's what we're looking at right here, guys. Hey, I've worked with better, but not many. Thank you very much, guys.
Duval Culpepper, ladies and gentlemen. And everybody else, too. People of all kinds. All right. Up next, please give a warm welcome for Jody Lennon.
That was a good song. I brought my bag up because that's my instinct, is to bring my bag up because it's more secure, right? I don't know you. So I'm going to give myself context. I'm going to tell you a story. But there's humor involved. I promise. On my 50th birthday, I decided to have dinner with my friends and like a group of 8 of us and my husband. My husband's my friend. I don't know why I separated him just then, but he is my good friend. He's my best friend. My husband, you know, that's what you say. But he is. This is being streamed. He could be watching. So I had a nice meal in New York City with my friends for dinner, and I decided that it was going to be my night to make a special announcement. And the special announcement was, I told everybody, I'm going to learn how to drive. And you wouldn't believe the reactions were, I'll tell you, what? Why? Where do you need to go? Why do you need to drive? Jokes, no. So, side note, jokes is something my dear friends call me. Jokey Lemon. My name is Jody Lennon, but I've given myself the moniker Jokey Lemon, and I did that a long time ago. I did it when I was in school in Maine in my youth. I've never said in my youth, but I'm going to do it now. In my youth, I gave myself the name Jokey Lemon. So Jokey Lemon was a thing that I gave myself because school was boring and I was like a joker. And so I used to just like be a joker in school because, you know, I just like would be a joker around school. So I was like, hey, there's Jokey Lemon. Hey, yeah, I'm Jokey Lemon. In Falmouth, Maine, nobody had that accent. But for the context of the story, everybody, yeah, you, hey. They were all like, Brooklyn, oh, hey, high five, Jokey Lemon, there you go. So I was terrible in school, and all I did was waste time. I hated school, and it was the 80s. I've given you my age, so I'm just going to continue to give you dates and times.
So I was in school, and I thought for sure I was gonna just be a famous person. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do. Was I gonna dance? Was I gonna sing? Was I gonna tell jokes? I didn't know, but all I knew was I needed to move to New York City, and that's all I wanted with my whole entire life. So the second I graduated from school, I moved to New York City, and I got, meanwhile, like, everybody's like, wait, where are your parents? How is, like, isn't college a thing in the 80s? Yeah, college was a thing in the 80s, but not to my parents. I was like, hey, shouldn't I be looking at colleges or something? And they were like, hey, if you want to, yeah, go ahead, look at colleges. But I was like, no, I'm really sure I'm going to be like a famous person, so I don't need to go to college. I just need to be in New York City. So I go to New York City, and I get an apartment, and I get the Village Voice. For anybody who doesn't know, it's a newspaper. Newspapers are things that are printed on paper, and it was a thing that was like this big. And on the back of the Village Voice, you could find like jobs, and stand-up nights and open mics. And so I used to find open mic nights, and I used to call the venues, and I'd be like, hey, is Jokey Lemon performing tonight? And then I would go to the open mic thinking the person in charge of the open mic was like also the person that was like answering the phone that day. And of course, A to B to C never worked, and it was a train wreck. It's such a good idea. And you guys, next week, call Dustin and text him and just be like, hey, and whatever all of your wonderful names are. I can't remember the last 3 people's names, but I really enjoyed your acts. But you guys, everybody text Dustin. So I was doing a thing, so I finally got a job waiting on tables, because that's what happens. And I was waiting on tables in a blues bar in the West Village. And it was a kind of place where it was like 2 drink minimum per person. And it was really shifty. And I decided that to make time more exciting, I was going to wait on tables in character, which nobody ever asked me to do. And I was the only person that was doing that. So everybody else was like a regular waitress, fantastic, skilled, and let the music happen because that's why people were there. I decided I was gonna bring a different kind of experience to the people going to that establishment. And I would show up and I would have a little character. And I would be doing it, and every night it was like a different hello, how do you do tonight? Can I get you something to drink? Or whatever, some awful, weird character. Till finally somebody said to me, hey, have you heard of Second City? I'm like, what's Second City? And they're like, it's a place in Chicago, and it's a comedy place, and it's improvisation, and they would embrace your character ways. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go to a library, because it was pre-internet, because it was the 80s, and I'm going to see what Second City's about. So I looked it up. This is me looking stuff up. I looked it up, and I found out, oh, this is amazing. So 2 weeks later, I moved to Chicago. Where are my parents? Nobody knows. Why are you talking like that? I don't know. It's the thing I'm doing. Okay, commit. Okay, so I moved to Chicago. I embraced Second City, which also the guy told me was the Harvard of comedy. And I was like, hey, I suck at school, but I could maybe get into the Harvard of comedy. I think I'm going to do that. So I got into the Harvard of comedy, and I did a bunch of Chicago-y things, which is where I met the exact people that I was having the meal with. Look, this is me doing a time change. Look, that's time changing. So years later, the people that I was having the meal with that are like, what jokes? Why do you want to get your driver's license? Those same people I had met there were now in New York City with me. it was a fantastic experience. But then I ended up going an entire year. Right, this is a whole story about me learning how to drive. One whole year goes by, and I did not learn how to drive because I was so busy not learning how to drive. I have to give a little caveat here. I'm an amazing passenger. My husband drives us everywhere, and I'm like really good at like listening to the radio, looking at trees, looking at stuff, finding parking spaces. Like, I'm an incredible passenger. So now the fact that I need to learn how to drive, which I've put on myself, it's becoming looming, because already I've lived up to a year of not living up to what I'm supposed to be doing. So the day before Thanksgiving of last year, we were up here, and I said to my husband, I'm going to go shopping. So I took an Uber, because that's what I do. I just Uber everywhere, or taxi or whatever. But I'm self-sufficient. And I went to the city hall, the DMV over here, and I had been studying. Me, who hates everything about learning how to do anything. And 17, 18-year-old me in my head was like, I can't believe you're actually studying something. And I was studying to take my driver's permits license thing. What is it called? I don't even know. That part. See, this is the thing. I'm using muscles that I've never had to use. And that muscle that I was learning how to use is the muscle where you learn just enough to the point where then you know you can just dump it out of your head. That was the muscle I was learning how to use. And I hadn't used that muscle in like 30 years. So that muscle just like pushing information in to get my learner's permit was totally activated. And I walked into the DMV. I don't even know where I am. So in Kingston, right up here, uptown, I went in there day before Thanksgiving. I'm like, there's not going to be anybody in there. And I was right. I was like, I'm here to take my learner's permit. And they're like, oh, is your daughter around? And I'm like, no, it's for me. I'm learning how to drive. So I go in, they're like, go over there. And I'm like, you know, this would never happen in Queens proper. So I was like, this is amazing. So I get in, and there's a 16-year-old person taking theirs on a screen. And then he's like, go over there and take your test. And then she finishes before me because she had been there before me, and that's the way time works. And she finishes, and she goes up, and he's like, sorry, you lost? Is that, why would he say she lost? But in our minds, that's what we think, right? You win or you lose. And she didn't win. She lost. She did not pass her test. And he not only said she didn't pass her test, she's like, sorry, you can only take it 3 times in one day. And I was like, wow, this is going to be hard. And so I was just there. And I'm like, God, I hope I remember all this information, because some of these details are a little different from what comes natural to me. I don't know what drinking is supposed to be, and what color is the speed limit sign. I think it's white, and then yellow is stop. No, that's red. Okay, so I'm just going through it. And I go up, and I'm like, I'm here. He goes, you got 100%. I'm like, I got 100%. All of a sudden I was louder. I got 100%. I got 100%. I mean, I haven't gotten 100% on a test since, maybe 3rd grade, like art or something. Like, I don't even remember the feeling. I just let it rush over me. I let the 100% rush over me. And so I got 100% on my learner's permit. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Thank you. And, you know, not for nothing. I have a date. It's April 9th that I'm going to actually take my driving test. And I will take that test. And I've been practicing going to the dump and everything. And that's been a big deal. But I know that driving is difficult. But you know what? I've been driving the whole time. Thank you very much. Also, I don't know why I did this. It's like I'm always in character. Thank you. Oh, my bad.
Jokes Lemon.
Oh, Jokey.
Jokey Lemon. Judy Lennon. Jody Lennon. Oh, terrible. I'm sorry, Jody. Jokes Lennon. All right. Sorry for butchering both of and all of your names there. Up next, we have, for the first time he's performing tonight, performing this way. Usually he sings songs, but he's debuting his comedy for this evening. Get up for Nick Glass.
Oh, what's going on, guys? Figured I should use that cup holder. No one else has. So. All right. So, how many people here have had a moment in their lives in which their parents literally scared the shit out of them? Anybody? No? I know you have. I've heard you before. So, the first time my mom ever did that, I was 11 years old, and I think I was inside the Walmart parking lot. And my mom was a really, really big woman, so I never really thought that she could really move fast. But damn was I wrong. We're about to walk in, right? And she looks over at me and she said something to me, and I looked over and I was talking about playing kickball during recess one day. And people were calling me Wheels because I was fast. And I was bragging to her. I was like, Mom, I'm so fast. I'm so much faster than you. I don't care how fast you are. I'm always going to be faster. My mom was like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You know, and I was like, Mom, you're just mad because I'm faster than you and you're old. That's what I said to her. And she reached out to grab the back of my collar and she missed for the first time in her life. And I felt this freeing energy in which I was like, I'm running. She's never gonna catch me. I start booking down. I'm running down the opening of Walmart. And I look over to my left-hand side and finally I'm out in front of PetSmart. And I look over the back of my right-hand shoulder and I don't see my mom anywhere. I was like, victory. I'm away from my mom. I look over to my left-hand side one more time. She's right here. Keeping pace with me, one step at a time. She grabs me by the front of my collar, picks me up like a rag doll. And she looks me in the face and she says something, I kid you not, I clenched my ass. I was so scared. She says to me, you'll never be fast enough. You'll never be strong enough. And most importantly, I'll never be too old. And then she beat my ass inside the parking lot. So, on top of that, there's been a lot of times with my mom that she's surprised me. She really has. She's an amazing woman. But hold on, I gotta pick up my notes here. And so I used to lie a lot to my mom. I don't know why I did. Growing up, you do a lot of stupid things you don't really expect to do. I used to lie to her a lot. And one time when I was 14 years old, I was grounded, and I really wanted to see this girl. And I sang inside the choir here at the Kingston High School, and I figured we had a lot of after-school choir practices. I could tell her I'm going to a choir practice and go hang out with this girl, and I'll never get caught. But my mom had a superhero, like superpower, really. And that was to know exactly when I was lying, no matter what I said to her. I said to her, I was like, Mom, I have a choir practice. I'm just going to go to that. I'll be back about an hour later than I usually am. And she was like, all right. We'll see. So I go and hang out with this girl. My biggest mistake was that I hung out with her at the high school. My mom showed up at the high school. She sees me at the entrance of the high school hanging out with this girl. And she comes up to me and the girl ran away. She saw my mom's eyes and was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And she ran away. My mom comes up to me and she goes, I thought you were at choir practice. And I thought for the first time in my life, I'm not gonna lie to my mom. I'm gonna tell her the truth. I'm gonna go, you know what, Mom? I understand I was grounded, but I really wanted to see this girl. I like her a lot. So the only way I could have done that while I was being grounded was if I told you I was at choir. My mom looked at me and she was like, okay. And that surprised me. I thought she was going to beat my ass right there on the steps of the high school. She goes, let's go, we're going home. I was like, all right, cool. She turns around, she starts walking away. I smile real big, like I won. And without looking, my mom went, bah! Smacked me in the face and went, take that crooked ass smile off your face. She never saw me smile. How did she know? How did she know? It's still a mystery to me today. Also with superpowers with my mom, she has supersonic hearing. And when I say supersonic hearing, I mean literally a bat. There was one time I was like 6 years old. I was sitting up in my room. I shared my room with my brother, who was 8 years older than me. So at the time, my brother was 14 years old. I was like 6, something like that. I can't fully remember. But my brother's having this huge-ass argument with my brother, with my mom, I mean, and down inside the kitchen. And I hear, oh, you're so fucking ungrateful. You're an asshole. You're a piece of shit. And on top of that, I didn't hear my mom say a damn thing. I was surprised that my brother was saying that to her. I was dumbfounded that my brother was saying that to her, knowing that the mom is the same mom I have. My brother comes into the bedroom and he closes the door behind him and he looks at me and he whispers. He goes, fucking cunt. I was like, wow. That's wow. Next thing you know, I hear just stomps up the stairs. My mom kicks open the door and goes, what the fuck did you just call me? I was like, how did she hear it? How did she hear it? I barely heard it. I'm standing in front of the guy. She beat my ass for that. I don't even know why she beat me up for that. Yeah, that was a rough day. That was a very rough day. You know how all of us, when we were very, very young, we always did something that, may be a little embarrassing, that we probably shouldn't have done. We all had those little tiny things, like some of us may have, spit on the floor or something like that, and then our parents yelled at us, or, maybe that's just me, I don't know. But there was one time in my life, I think I was like 5. I was a badass little kid now I think about it. When I was like 5 years old, I had like this obsession with just peeing wherever the hell I wanted. It was freeing. I had a power against anyone. I remember one time I pissed in the kitchen. Just 'cause I can. But I didn't think about it really that strongly because my mom was in the backyard and the back door was right next to where I was pissing. My mom opened the door, she hits me with it, and I fumbled with my pants. I was like, ah. And she goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm putting the broom away. She goes, and why's the broom over there? I was like, that's a good question there, Ma. My brother from the other room was like, she knows! She knows what's going on! My mom had this one thing that she always did when she knew that we were lying. She would cross her arms like this. She would look at us and go, let me find out. Let me find out. I decided to lie again. I was looking for the broom. She was like, I thought you were putting it away. So I was looking for it. I lied. She's like, why'd you lie? I was like, because I spilled apple juice and I knew you were going to yell at me. She looks down and she goes, that's not apple juice. And I was like, fuck! Once again, she beat my ass. One very last story here. My mom was there also the day that I saw the life flash before my eyes for the very first time. Not only was she there for that, but she was the reason for it. Back in the day when I was growing up, we didn't really have much. We didn't have a lot of things to do growing up. My mom used to sit inside the living room and watch her shows. And one of those shows was Days of Our Lives. Everyone knows Days of Our Lives because everybody's grandmother watched it. Everybody knows it. So I'm laying down on the floor, on the carpet, watching the show with my mom, having a grand old time, And I always knew that she would watch, I can't remember the first show, but she would always watch Days of Our Lives last. And when the ending credits would start to roll, she would turn off the TV, and then it was my time. I could do whatever the hell I wanted. I could watch whatever I wanted, and she would just go to bed. They start scrolling down, right? TV never turns off. Started getting a little anxious. I looked over and I was like, Mom, can I watch SpongeBob? Mom, can I watch SpongeBob? Mom. Hey, Mom. Mom, can you turn on SpongeBob? Hey, Mom, 32. 32, Nickelodeon. Put on SpongeBob. Mom, put on SpongeBob. She goes, ask me to put on SpongeBob one more time. I was like, Mom? Can you put on SpongeBob? And she flipped the fucking coffee table. I kid you not, she flipped the coffee table. The coffee table came off the ground at least this high. And I'm on the ground, which means I'm lower than this high. I saw the coffee table come over my head. That is when I saw the very short life of Nick Glosk flash right past my face. I was like, wow, I am depressing. It landed on the ground and I was grounded for like a month. Surprisingly, that was the one day she ever yelled at me and didn't beat my ass. But that's all for me, guys. Thank you very much. I'm Nick Glosk. Dustin, this is all for you.
Nick Glass, that was your first time doing comedy, man. On a stage. Next week, are you singing?
I am. Next week I'm doing songs with this guy right here.
I'm going to accompany him on guitar. That's what we're doing. Nick Glass, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, let's welcome Mr. Inevitable. Come on up, put your hands together. Yeah.
Hey, Dustin! What kind of cigarette is this?
I have no idea. I found it on the table.
Oh, it's a goddamn menthol. Fuck that. Right. Empty pieces of paper. Notes. Camera. Action! My dad's happily married now for the second time in his life to an awkward codependent woman who's fucking lazy. They got married when I was 14 years old. Not really sure why. I don't see what he sees in her. I asked him several times, why her? And he always gives the same response, which is because she's kind and she's caring and sensitive. But I know the real reason why he's married to her now, I think. It's because she probably has a secret trust fund stashed away somewhere and he's waiting for her to die. But no, I think mostly he did it because he was 50 at the time and he felt like it was time to settle down, and he was settling for less at that point. I tried to respect her for many years. I really did. But every time I see her face, I just see red. Everything goes red. You know what I mean? Her name is Harmony, by the way. Her name is Harmony, and she believes that Eastern medicine is the perfect cure-all for any illness or injury. So, basically, what I did one day was I sliced my pinky open with a steak knife or whatever, and I, as a point, and I said, "Can Eastern medicine fix this? No, but a prosthetic pinky will." She comes up with lame-ass excuses all the time, too. Like, one example is she crashed a car recently. Or she crashed into a car. And when asked about it, she said, "Oh, I did it because Mercury was in retrograde." It's the kind of person she is. she's also slightly racist, I believe. Because, well, I'll give an example. When she was still practicing massage therapy, now mind you, she grew up in white neighborhoods all her life. And she was experiencing giving a black woman a massage for the first time in her life. And she starts weeping. And of course the black lady can hear her. Anyway, the woman can hear her. And and she says to Harmony, "Are you all right? Do you need therapy?" My stepmom says, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it's just I've never given a black woman a massage before." The lady receiving the massage, her comeback was on point. She dead ass said to my stepmom, "Yep, we all have the same body parts." But in all honesty, I know if it were me and if I was married to Harmony and she told me she was pregnant, I would be driving to Mexico 2 seconds after she left the room. My mom's dated a lot of weird men, though, throughout my life. It's a lot like, you know the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World? Yeah. It's a lot like that, except times 3, mixed together with a game of Texas Hold'em. Basically, she'll be dating a man, and she'll be considering, like, taking the relationship to the next level, and she'll say to the man, "Before we go any further in this relationship, I just need to know one thing, just one thing. You're gonna have to fight my 21 evil exes. Are you still up for it?" Now, most of the time, the man, he says, "Nah, I fold." But there's a rare occasion where the guy will say, "I'm lying!" There's a story fairly recently where I moved to Colorado because my mom had bought a house with this guy that she was dating at the time named Jebediah. And Jebediah had a son named Diesel who was living with them. And I moved there because I grew up in Woodstock and I was tired of all the fuckbags living there. And I quit smoking, actually. I quit smoking cigarettes because I was moving to a mountain. I was moving into a neighborhood on a mountain made of kerosene. And I moved in, things went from bad to worse. I found out that Diesel's hobbies included screaming at us, beating us up, tearing apart lampshades with his teeth, and throwing salt and pepper shakers at us. Oh, but thank God for my ninja skills, because I had spent my previous time around neighbors just hiding so they wouldn't be able to find me. So I applied my stealth tactics in that situation so that no one would ever know I was home. The middle of that experience, me and my mom had two friends help us move out of that house. In 3 days, because Jebediah and Diesel were only gone for 3 days, so we had to book it fast before the Majora's Moon came crashing down and all hell broke loose. But we made it out of there, and we got back to Hyrule. The end of my time there, I was moving back to Woodstock, and a friend of mine, he came to visit me and help me do the driving part back. But before we left, he wanted to get some of that sweet Colorado Devil's lettuce that he had been hearing so much about. And so we got some at one of the dispensaries down there. And when we started driving again, he started getting paranoid about crossing the border to Kansas and other borders. So we decided the best course of action would be if he shoved it up his ass so that the cops wouldn't find it, or the border patrols. Of course, we didn't have to do that, because there were no cops around. It was like they all got taken by Armageddon. And so yeah, I moved, we got back, it was anticlimactic, but I made a vow to myself, never again with any more Jebediahs or Diesels. Thank you very much, that's my time, everyone.
Mr. Inevitable! Elijah. All right. Up next, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. E.J. Bell. Give it up one more time for Mr. Inevitable and everybody else to perform as well.
Keep it going for Dustin, everybody. Our host with the most hair, that is. I don't know. How you guys doing? You guys doing
I
good?
don't think I got that.
You guys okay? You know, we're all rocking and rolling. Welcome to the Anchor. I'm a very open guy about who I am. Like, my friends know me. I'll hold nothing back. Me and Pot are best friends. My therapist. I'm in love with Mary Jane. I can't deny that. But when I think about stuff mainly when I'm high. Like I've said this a billion times, I swear. If there was like one black Care Bear out of all the Care Bears in Care-a-Lot, and his name was Jamosis, I would feel better about my life. Like, Jamosis doesn't do anything but speak Ebonics freely. You can't understand a word he's saying, but you know darn well he's going to make sure you guys stay alive through your mission. The evil one's coming, Jamosis. What should we do? Blow his titties out his back, make him scream, ah! You can't understand a word Jamosis saying. You're like, what? Blow his titties out his back. But Jamosis, he ain't got no breasts. What we... blowing his whole back out? That's a sexual term. We bears. I started Muay Thai recently. That's nothing to clap for. Don't worry about it. You know, I'm not at all good at it yet. there's a woman in that class that is 4'3" that kicked my temple off my forehead. I'm such a bitch that I tried to find a rape whistle, but I don't even own one. I'm pretty sure I was molested with her toenail. Like, she didn't apologize for it. It was like Street Fighter with Van Claude Dam's daughter or some crap. Like, I didn't know. When she hit me, I was like, Jesus, I'm coming. I can't. Sad thing is, I wanted to do it because I was so tired of going to the gym and feeling fatter than I actually am. Because I love food. I'm a food connoisseur. I would do amazing things for food. Isn't food great, though? Like, come on. Let's all talk about how awesome food is. You know it's bad when you weigh the same amount as your bank account does. That's when you had a little bit too many Krispy Kreme donuts. You're sharing the same circumference as Charles Barkley. Goes from talking about basketball to random shit nobody understands. Like when Shaq got traded to the Phoenix Suns. Like, Barkley, what do you think about Shaq being traded to Phoenix Suns? Well, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal. Barkley, what the fuck you saying, man? Krispy Kreme donuts shaped like a rim. They're sweet. That type of stuff gets to me, man, because I be thinking, I need a following ball to follow Charles Barkley and Shaq, like when they talk. I can't keep up with it, man. Anytime we in the general commercials, I'm like, what the fuck is Shaq saying? I'm not high enough to translate. The fuck? Get your free car insurance. Make sure you get it. Don't bring COVID though. Do it. Cost $9.99. Believe it. Big diesel. All day. Every day. It's about car insurance. The fuck? Like, nobody asked you about your old ass rap album. You realize he came out with 2 albums? Shaq has more music credibility than Justin Bieber. Let that sink in for like 5 seconds. It's not even weird that I say that, because when I think about it, and you think about the difference in song, you go, baby, 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 oh. Then you hear, they call me Big Diesel, no treason, shoulder teasel, max head bizzle. All the things I go through, I'll be the reason. You don't understand what the fuck Shaq's saying, but you know darn well it's some fire shit. You're like, oh, shit, oh. Go ahead, Big Giant, go ahead. With your horse dick. I don't know why Justin let me come up here. Some of those R-rated stuff that I say, I don't know. The weird thing about all this is that I did this before, and it's still the same thing that I think about. Who here knows who DMX is? Clap if you do. I don't know. I can't see anything, so just make sure if you're clapping, clap hard. Like, I can't. All right, like 3 people. Okay. And out of nowhere, now when I do this, don't lose it, because I thought about more to this story. It's my last one and I'm gone. So I thought about this when I was high. Like, I never hear rappers come out with Christmas albums. And I thought about DMX's voice. Thought about him singing like, silver bells, silver bells. Didn't work. Then I thought about something that was a home classic, and I've done this so many times, it's crazy. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you could even say it grows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph joining any reindeer games. That's the whole song of DMX. That's all he can do because like his voice, man. I met him once in a Greenville Denny's. I thought I was being mugged. When he came up and took my order at that table, I was like, don't take my wallet, Jesus. Oh, you just asking for what? You want some water with your lemon or some lemon with your water? What? What? I said, you want water with your lemon? Huh? I was like, whoa, you are yelling at me, sir. I feel threatened, young man. Anyway, guys, you've been beautiful. That is my time. Thank you.
Give it up for Mr. E.J. Bell. All right. Up next, let's give a warm welcome for Mr. Francis Gunn.
I was born through shit 72, but that's on the wisdom. Down to the moon, just like Kuta Ken. That means I'm left from the get-go.
Somebody left their Altoids and cigarette. Did I miss something?
No, that's the tray of.
This is my green room.
Help
treats.
yourself. Yeah, it's like a green room on stage.
All right, I'm gonna do something a little different tonight, you guys. I'm gonna rap. Y'all ready? Can you guys clap in rhythm for me? Yeah. Yeah. Fucking stop it. Of course I'm not gonna fucking rap when I look like an asshole. So when I was a kid and I was bad, my mom would hit me with a wooden spoon. When I was kind of bad, she'd hit me with a plastic spoon. When I was good, she'd spoon me. We're winging it tonight. Everybody give it up for my manager, Fred. Fred's a great guy. He's very weird, though. He says, God bless you, louder than the person sneezed. It's very awkward. God bless you. I feel like I should say God bless you to him for him saying God bless you. I'm an atheist, so I don't really say God bless you, but I'm not like an angry lesbian about it or anything. When people say God bless you to me, I'm like, all right, you went out of your way to be like, oh, it sucks you just sneezed. And I'm like, bro, empaths. That's cool. So I stopped saying God bless you for a long time. And I thought it was really funny to say, God damn you. People don't like that. Not even a little bit. So then I was like, well, people sometimes sneeze multiple times in a row. What's the least awkward thing I could say when someone sneezes if I have to end up saying it multiple times? And I was like, oh yeah, the power of Christ compels you. You can sneeze 9 times, I'm still gonna do that, motherfucker. Alrighty. So I was watching this documentary about Mr. Rogers, and I was like, holy fuck, Mr. Rogers was a piece of shit. And I realized I was watching the wrong documentary. What else? You guys ever see Blazing Saddles? Yeah. It's a great movie. I just rewatched it the other day. You could never make that movie now. Because, like, all the actors are dead. Yeah, that was it. And, of course I didn't bring my fucking phone up here. I was going to tell you guys a story, but fuck it, we'll just do one-liners. I got a really weird headache. Sorry if I'm a little off. Yeah, it's in my foot. Right. Saw 2 homeless people making out at a bus stop on my way in tonight. And I said, hey, get a room. I like to throw people reverse surprise parties. That's where I tell someone I'm going to throw them a party, and then I don't. My grandfather's colorblind. He likes his women like he likes his Smurfs. Black. Right, rocking and rolling. I swear to God I was going to read this fucking story, but I left my phone at the fucking service station, whatever. Let's talk about Lent. You guys know what Lent is? It's a Catholic celebration. I lived in New Orleans for a long time. A lot of secular people celebrate Lent and observe it. Basically, it's after Mardi Gras, which is a huge, like, decadent festival where you go crazy, you drink, you eat, you fuck, you whatever. And then people... Oh, thank you. Well, I might subject you to it after all. Thank you. And then you give something you love up for 40 days and 40 nights. I think it's a healthy thing. It's a good exercise. This year, I gave up jerking off since March 5th. Because I think, I'm getting a little old, I think porn desensitizes you. It's exactly what you want. You just look up the exactly what you want all the time. And it's like, I'm not enjoying sex as much as I feel like I used to. And this is all code for boner problems. But yeah. Last year, I gave up gin. I'm a big gin drinker. The only time I fucked up was when a very close friend of mine passed away. And I got shit-faced on gin. So if any of my friends die this year... Alright, you guys want to hear a story? It's not terribly long. I wrote this when I lived in Austin, Texas. And I was very poor. Don't wait for laughs. This is very serious. I am broke. I eat potatoes. I am not a vegan, but I have been avoiding animal products for a while now. For what reason, you may ask? I could bore you less with a discourse on Glenn Frey's impact on rock music. However, one of my managers asked me to tidy up the break room and throw out the community food last night. And lo, what should I discover? A giant slice of pizza, nary the life of a fly. Coming from a New Yorker, Austin pizza ain't nothing to kick out of bed without at least a friend request. Lost my place. Do I resign it to waste, like so much toss, or launch a clandestine campaign in its preservation, to place it on its rightful pedestal in my oven, its glow to engulf me and wrap me in sleep? I scavenge it. At a disadvantage for a container, I hastily cram it in my book bag and stow the satchel in my locker, its necrotic purge to inevitably seep into the leaves of my journal and corrupt it permanently. But what are you gonna do? Sleep, my love. In 5 hours or so, depending on the bus, I will breathe hot life into you, and arisen you will be mine. I bided my time and finished my shift. An era! Clock out, I stole away with my prize on my back, like Nosferatu hobbling back to his castle with a virgin over his shoulder. I appeared normal on the bus. That usually gets a laugh. An infant gave me the eye, so in a panic I smiled warmly, perhaps too friendly. The mother suspected nothing. My feet were on wind between the bus and my house. I walked but could not physically detect the effort, as a wisp propelled by will. With the most hated god, the sun, on my heels, I closed in on my lair like a true ghoul. I leaned against the door, on the business side of the threshold, and exhaled. With the slowing of my frenzied heart, the crescendo of flight descended, faded out, and was overlapped by a coy, smoky number with saxophone and piano drunkenly celebrating my crime, welcoming a rude grin to stretch out and make itself at home on my face. I live, I possess pizza, and I am God. I tiptoed lightly through the house as to not awaken my nurse, gently lobbing tiny cries into the dark to find my way. I decided to let my love see the grace of further decay while I drank and then rested. But I have risen to great lust for the synergy of mozzarella, marinara, and heat. It is time come! My blazing altar flows with grease. Angels weep as demons bellow, punishing. Operas of bacchanalian mayhem. Hell dances. The flames reach to the panicked heavens and singe their trim. What hast thou done to the world? What hast thou allowed to transpire on this black earth? Who, seated on throne of cloud, lazing to endless aggrandizing fanfare from horns made of light, what hast thou created, and how wilt thou amend it? The morning star demands day of this eternal night, blossom of this relentless winter, destruction of creation. It was pretty good for Texas pizza.
right, keeping things going. Patty DeFino, come on up, man. We could be more awake than that. Let's put our hands together for Francis Gunn one more time. And welcome Patty DeFino on stage. Yeah. We got that in us.
I'm gonna take a few Altoids.
Please, help yourself. It's the amenities tray, man. I'm gonna add to that each week.
All right, this is the night of the notebooks, so I figured I'd bring mine out too. And this is also gonna annoy the shit out of everyone that I'm chewing on something the whole time. But I've been pondering a few things lately. One of them is what happens to fake tits when someone dies? Like, do they just kind of sit in the casket there, like in a pile? The other thing, more importantly, is why haven't we been shaving our pubes, like, the whole time through existence? Like, we really only started shaving our pubes pretty recently, like, 20, 30 years ago? Like, if you run back through history, it's like Big Bang, cavemen, Neanderthals, Aztecs, Columbus, Jesus, Columbus, and then today. And then, like, just like a little sliver, we shaved our pubes. It's just a flash in the pan. I don't know what it is, what caused it. Like, did Bill Clinton get to office and people are like, these things aren't cool anymore. Get them out of here. Or, like, was there some crazy crab epidemic that, like, took a bunch of lives out of nowhere? And we just ripped it out of the history book because it was too embarrassing. Oh, yeah, we can't let that see the light of day anymore. No, it's very surprising. But what, like, the only people who really leave their pubes on are the vegans. It's vegans. It's strictly vegans. And I have a theory. I think vegans don't shave their pubes because if they get lost in the woods, they'll at least have a bush as a healthy snack. You know? To keep it going. No, I shit on vegans a little bit, but I have a lot of respect for vegans. Because they can eat vegetables, and I can't. I just can't do it. I don't know what it is. Vegetables, to me, are just a shitty time capsule in my fridge to just see how shitty of a person I was for 2 weeks. Like, I go to the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, yeah, there's asparagus. I'll eat that. And, well, green beans look good. And, well, I don't know. These rhubarbs look... I don't even know what a rhubarb is. And I throw it in the cart. And then it just goes bad. And I go into the fridge, and I open the fridge, and I look in there, and I see that it's bad. And my first reaction is to get mad. I'm like, oh, you fucking shitty spinach. I was going to eat you today, too. I was going to eat all you little bitch-ass vegetables today. But, you know, you got to go bad on me. What the fuck is that? Yeah, fake tits. Fake tits. I think I'm going to run a campaign where we're going to recycle all the fake tits and fake asses and give them to the Kardashians because they can use it more than most people could use it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in kind of a weird mood today. My dog actually passed away last week. And for those of you who've had an animal or even a loved one who you are very close with, and they pass away out of nowhere on you, it can kind of take a toll on you in every aspect of your life. And me being up on the stage, I'm at my most vulnerable, you know. It's just she was a sweet dog, and, like, the worst part is she didn't even taste that good. Like, I kind of thought she was going to taste way better. Like, I fed her all this really high-end dog food and just threw my money down the drain, I guess. Like, Purina doesn't put anything on the bag, like, spoils meat. Just say that. That's all you got to do is say that it spoils them. I'll go with a different brand. Maybe that's their advertising campaign. It's like they just don't want to tell you, whatever. Maybe it's because she was a rescue. I don't know. I don't know. It's shitty. Either way. Yeah, I didn't really come with anything prepared tonight, so that's all I got. And thank you very much to Dustin.
Give it up for Patty D. It's awesome you guys are coming out here on Thursday nights doing comedy. It's like kind of like free therapy for you guys, I'm sure, right? Get out your problems and all that stuff. Fucking love you guys. Let's give a warm welcome for Leaf coming on up on stage now here. Coming up on stage. I can pronunciate it correctly. Give it up for everybody that played tonight, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for coming out. But Leaf.
Yeah. How do you know when you're addicted to porn? And by porn, yeah, right. Yeah, wait, how much did I watch today? I think it was like an hour. You know, the thing is, it's right now I'm on the hot, big, white ass thing. You know, the algorithm just keeps throwing more of them at you. It's an endless supply. I don't know why we don't drop big-assed white women in any country we're planning on invading. I figure that's a good strategy. I always had that thought, like, we don't try to kill the terrorists, just fuck them to death. You know, we have enough women who either are whores or want to be. Like, they want to make porn so you could combine the two. You could have whores, and I hate to say that word even, because I don't really care if, you know, if a woman likes to fuck, I don't think there's anything wrong with it myself. You know, a man likes to fuck, oh, he's a stud. I don't even know. Have we gone past that? I'm not up on it. I don't know. Maybe there's no more demonizing. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's still there, I'm sure. I'm sure it is. Sure, of course it is, right? What is it? I know in schools, right? In schools, they take pictures. They try and get you to fuck them by... Anyway, never mind. This wasn't what I meant to talk about. Because what I mean by porn is Netflix and Amazon and fucking Hulu. You know, that's like soft porn. It is. I mean, you can masturbate to it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, you can masturbate. The thing is, you can masturbate to anything, right? Obviously. You can masturbate to the lizards on YouTube. That conspiracy, right? David Icke. I know. Oh, it's endless. I've gone down the YouTube rabbit hole. And I don't know how to get myself back. Like, I wasn't even going to get here tonight because I thought, I don't have to go there. There's not going to be anybody there. They're all back at the bar. I know how that place is structured. You're fucked. It's ridiculous. You can't, you know. But then I said, oh, come on, you fucking... Because it's just, for me, this is like the Schizophrenic Anonymous meeting, right? Isn't it? No, it isn't? Okay, well, anyway, that's what I'm using it for, all right? So I managed to get myself out of the house. I said, come on, you fucking idiot. You can masturbate tomorrow, for Christ's sake. Tonight, for that matter. It's unbelievable. I mean... I don't know. I haven't taken the plunge. You know, I've gone on Tinder, and I thought, you know, I thought I was going to get laid. And it was like, I don't know, I've come to the conclusion, like, that God doesn't want me to have sex. You know, like, God wants me to get more and more angry so that I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I used to think I was supposed to take a big shit in the center of a Walmart aisle, you know? I don't know what that would do to stop the capitalist fuck train, you know? Which is to say, they're fucking us, of course, yeah. Yeah, it's great. Because every day you wake up, really, and whether you know it or not, Uncle Sam's fucking you in the ass. That's right. We're all gay. We're all gay now. People don't like to admit it. They don't like to admit that they're sucking and fucking dick every day. Doesn't matter whether you're male or female, but we all are. There's blood, you know what I mean? But it's invisible. That's all. And you don't see it. It's not on YouTube. It's not on CNN, you know? Russiagate. That's what's on CNN. Russia all the time. In fact, I was listening to Terry Gross today, and now they got a new angle. They were talking, I mean, it's not entirely new, but they were like, so what did this Russian person meet with this other guy who supported Brexit? So they're basically saying now that Russia, of course, is behind Brexit. Russia did everything. They did everything. It's an old play. I don't know how people fall for it. Anyway, it's not as funny as porn addiction, is it? No, it's not. No. Propaganda, and world oppression and starvation and poverty. It's not that funny, is it? Right? I grew up poor. In fact, there's so many things I referred to up here that make me want to, I grew up in the middle of the woods in Vermont, and I used to shit on newspapers. I did. I used to shit on newspapers. And let me tell you something, the only reason we did that is because we had an outhouse. And when it's 20 below zero and windy, and there's 4 feet of fucking snow in the middle of the woods with no flush toilet, you're not going outside. You know what I mean? You're pissing literally in a little can. So you're pissing, piss can, and you're shitting on a newspaper. I kid you not. I don't know whether you can run for president if you did that kind of stuff. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about running. I mean, 100 years maybe? I don't know. Things might improve in 100 years. Might have a chance. All I gotta do is suck Jesus' cock, maybe, Maybe there's like special... Never mind. Didn't make sense, of course. Too much imagination, not enough, structure. That's right. That's the... But what I would like to do is start the pitchfork fucking party. I'd like to see something happen in this country. I mean, I wake up I just think something's gonna. I used to think to myself, well, maybe if I took over the Hudson Valley Mall. Now there's like nothing to take over. There's nothing there. I could take over, but I don't know what satisfaction there would be. It's like a fucking ghost town now. But the movies are coming soon, right? They're coming back. They're bringing us the movies. So anyway, if I were eventually to stop, get rid of some of my addiction. I mean, there's a lot of addictions, right? Food. Who can resist it? It's the gateway fucking drug, I know. I can't even tell. Wait, let me look. By tell, I meant how long I'd been up here. 7 minutes. 7 minutes of torture for me, or for you, or for both. Of course. When my mother, I remember her telling me about a factory job she had. She tells me about this job, and what I got from it was, don't work for anybody. And it's caused me problems. When you decide, like, I don't really want to work for people, I ended up doing medical studies. If you don't know what that is, or you probably do, but maybe it's playing guinea pig, with pharmaceutical companies. They lock you up. You got to stay there. People always go, no, you got to stay there. Okay, they're give you your little hospital outfit and eat their food and then eventually you take their drug, whatever it might be. And it's an interesting gig. It'll warp your brain, is what I'm saying. I was wondering today, what are we going to invade next? The United States. I know we're trying for Venezuela, but it's not really working. Like they're working the narrative for Venezuela, but it doesn't seem to quite have caught the public's imagination, or it has, but it still hasn't led to an invasion. Because they don't want to invade. They want to do it without, they just want to do it by declaring one moron who's not remotely popular in the country is, oh yeah, this guy's the president, this guy doesn't exist, even though he was elected. And people, it's amazing how people fall for it, even though it's so obvious. There's more oil there than anywhere in the world, right? They have the highest reserves. And yet somehow, amnesia, everybody forgot. I know, it's very boring. It's a comedy show, and you shouldn't be talking about such things. So, I have a long list of idiotic things that I would do were I to actually, be able to run for president. The main thing would be, there's not enough time anymore. There's too many things to fucking do these days. There always was, but it's ever worse every day, as you all know. So I don't think the 24-hour day cuts it, It's like inflation and work and the tech. Wages never caught up with, production. Yes, I see the light. So, I'd say we need a 30-hour fucking day, okay? A 30-hour day, and maybe some of us could get something done. Good night.
Yeah. Give it up for Leaf! Doing those awesome rants there, man. You talked about a lot of things in a short amount of time. There's like hours worth of material there.
Sodomizing you just now.
And that is awesome.
You are very good. You are.
So we're still hanging out. We have more people to go. We have more spaces up front here. And I want to welcome an amazing singer coming up to the stage. I want to welcome Rhea to the stage. Please come on up. There's supposed to be music playing, but it's like intermittent. There it goes. Yeah. So I'll talk in this moment. Open mic night every Thursday night here at the Anchor. It's open for anything. So that can mean music, that can mean comedy, that can mean alternative dance, that can mean accordion playing, that can mean you have been York. We have Bluetooth. I'm going to disconnect mine, which is intermittent anyway. We're gonna search a new Bluetooth thing once I disconnect here. We're gonna keep open mic going because it's very important to have an open microphone in a place like this for the stage and awesome people every Thursday night. Ooh, try to find.
Let me turn it off.
So this is when it gets good?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Mike, if you can, like reset that. Yeah. We got this.
Reset mine right now too, or just wait? Oh, there it is.
Boom.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna keep this open mic going with a song.
Okay. Thank you. So I have not sang this song in like well over a year. Kind of freaking out. Also, it's like not good. Okay, here we go.
Hello, can you hear between our silence? I know you feel as though I am childish, but I can't be everything to you, leaving nothing. No, nothing for me. So you say you are done with it, and I just let you run with it, 'cause it's nothing new. Of your back, but still I've never seen scratches like that. And you say nothing in this world is free, not even your company. The beauty of your form. roll over and tuck yourself in. You're no longer my cross to bear. No, I'm so sick of this. Baby, no, I can't keep doing it. So set me free, baby, let me be. Set me free, baby, let me be.
Okay, so this other one is the first song I like literally ever seriously wrote. Again, this hasn't been done in probably like 3 years, so this is like, let's pray I remember the words, okay? If I don't, I'll literally just get off stage, and that means I'm too embarrassed to continue.
I'm sleeping with the demons in my head. Laying next to them, it's hard to get out of bed. I watch the sunrise and I watch it say from the window. I'll intertwine with my thoughts crossing battle lines. Weapons drawn, I'm ready to go. And then they pull me close, gentle and slow. They always knew just how I liked it. Romanticizing nightmares so they're not frightening. One day I'll wake up and I'll be done. Yeah, yeah. Alone in my own head with nowhere to run. What an end to my dangerous love affair. Talking to myself when there's nobody there. Talk about a sickness. Say what you will. But these demons I regret. They were my greatest This is life now and it ain't easy. My voice is coming clear, can you hear me? And that's that one.
Oh god. Sing the other one. What if I did like, can I just like a fun cover?
Absolutely.
And then I'll be totally done. Okay.
No,
okay.
Absolutely
Absolutely not.
What are you gonna sing?
Well,
Sing that one song that we all love. Yes.
Okay.
Now. That's the one. That's your one, girl.
I also feel like
Now.
could times be like any better than this for this? I mean, also, it's literally gonna be a karaoke instrumental, so like don't be too hard on it, okay? It's karaoke, you know. This is why it's important to get out and vote. This song speaks volumes. Not gonna make it political, just vote, that's all. You know? 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination.
realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was never this brotherhood of man, for whatever that means. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I try, oh my God, do I try? I try all the time in this institution, and I pray, oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day for a revolution. And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? And I said, ooh, 27 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination.
Give it up again for Rhea! We have one more act. One more act. Please stay around. One more. One more musician on stage here. It's a rarity nowadays.
And put strings on this thing last year?
Maybe.
No.
But there's picks and altoids and capo on stage.
Curious.
And a cup holder.
Hold on now.
So
close enough for rock and roll. Or whatever this is going to be.
All right. Give it up for Jeremy Swift.
Which one of my songs that you don't know would you like to hear? Okay, this one's always, this will wake me up. This song is called Dysfunction Junction Blues.
She's a perfect addict who makes her own supply. The rules are a pen, she cuts through it like a knife. She brings a ball peen
what she's after, she's just looking for a fight. Girl is all a wonder, all up inside his head. But in these three dimensions, you can't get him out of bed. He don't care about money, he's eating all your food. You knew he was too pretty to be of any use. Don't try to talk about it, it'll all come back to you. Okay, and they got a fetish for emotional abuse. Just because you're hopeless don't mean I'm not the worst. But I can tell the difference between a blessing and a curse. You label me a villain, but I've become much worse and be a happier villain with a different girl. You should be ecstatic, I'm doing all the work. The sails both from living out another vicious verse.
So much gain everywhere. Thank you. Okay, what's the other one you want to hear? Oh, how about where the other one? Here's a slower one.
Lot of people we all know, lot of things just ain't so, but it all make them so. Lot of people we all know, lot of things that just ain't so, but it all make them so. You can stir the water, come on, make it flow. Take a stand on the shifting sand till you're standing in a hole. Lead a horticulture, she cannot make it grow. They are making of themselves an offer to the crows. You can stir the water, cannot make it flow. Take a stand on the shifting sand till you stand up make them so. Lot of people we all know, a lot of things just ain't so. But don't make it so. Make it so. Right. You know that, right? A lot of people. Assholes, right? Anyway, thank you. I'm gonna be really lazy and also, yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna do a cover because you did a cover. You know, it's a cover of a cover of a cover. Just requires so little work and it's fun. And it's creepy and sexy and it's dark right now, so. Good morning, little schoolgirl. Can I go home with you? Tell your mama, your papa, I'm a little schoolboy too. Girl, I love you this morning, just can't help myself. Come on now, pretty babe, don't need nobody else. Come on, a little schoolgirl. Hey, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh, I'm gonna leave you, babe, at the break of day. On account of the way you treat me, I gotta stay away. Come on, a little schoolgirl, and I'll go home with you. So pretty, but you want somebody else. Come on, little baby, come on back home, girl. Ooh, ooh, yeah. On buy me an airplane, fly all over your town, tell everybody, babe, Lord knows you're fine. Girls can't stand it, just can't help myself. Turn a little, babe, I don't want nobody else. Come on, a little schoolgirl, come on back home, girl. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Can I go home? Yeah, little schoolgirl. Can I go home? Yeah. Little schoolgirl, can I go home? Yeah. Little schoolgirl, can I go home?
Jeremy Swift from the Beautiful Bastards,
Burger
ladies
time.
and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, look for us. We play songs. Oh yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us this evening for the open mic night every Thursday night. The band that's playing right now, they're playing here next Wednesday. But either way, thank you guys for coming out, joining us every Thursday night at the Anchor. It's open mic night. The stage is open. You get time on stage for whatever you guys want to do. Comedy, music, dance, anything. Come out next week.